Deal breakers, red flags,
and other signs that you are repeat dating the wrong person on today's episode of The Game Over Show. Welcome to the Game Over Show. I'm Charles J. Orlando.
And I'm Lisa Stedman, and I am way too happy that Kim Kardashian's getting fat.
And that's our show.
With me. Come on. Who else is happy she's getting fat?
Oh, come on.
She's doing all that weird stuff to her face because she can't do anything about her body right now. So it's like,
What is she doing?
Oh, she's really focused on her face now, apparently. Because she can't help but expand because she's preggers, and we celebrate that. But yeah, so now she's like tweaking and puffing. I mean, she was doing that before. But anyway, I digress.
She's going to get all that sucked out about 2 minutes after that baby's born.
Oh, her plastic surgeon's already scheduled for the C-section, I'm sure.
Well, and whatever other section is needed to get whatever weight is off of her.
Whoa!
And I don't have a problem with heavy women. I just know that her entire image is based on the perception of perfection.
Speaking of having problems with heavy women, and I'm so digressing today, but this is the mood I'm in. So I was at Bloomingdale's, and the sales lady actually said to me, none of these come in a size 14. Can you believe that shit? I boycott you, lady in the dress department at Bloomingdale's at the Beverly Center.
Right.
I boycott you.
None of these come in a size 14, but actually your commission comes in this piece of fucking lint. Here you go. There you go. You've been paid.
Game over.
Right? Totally. Oh my God. Well, let's get into it, right?
Let's get into the real juice of this show. It's all about you.
Well, it's all about them and red flags, deal breakers. Today's He Said.
She said.
You're welcome. So anyway, yeah, at some point we will broadcast all the backstage nonsense and banter that happens here on the Game Over Show, but not now. Sorry about that. Today we're talking about red flags, deal breakers.
Yeah, I'm calling game over for all of you out there, and I'm calling myself in this category. I was once upon a time one of these people, not just women, men do it too. Repeat relationships, different people, same situation.
No doubt.
Don't get your needs met, choose someone emotionally unavailable, bang your head against the wall and wonder what the F.
Well, see, but those people write into us and they say, the last 10 boyfriends, last 10 girlfriends I've had have all been
all of my
the
boyfriends
same.
cheated on me.
Right.
All of my girlfriends left me.
Well, and you know why that is? It's because you haven't had 10 bad relationships. You've had one relationship 10 times, right? And that's really the deal. So
I can really just do sign language for that because I've heard it before. And it's good. It's true. That's what we're talking about today.
Definitely.
All right.
So,
Yes.
deal breakers, red flags. Should we separate the two?
Yes.
Let's define them.
Deal breakers, red flags, 2 categories. Let's start with deal breakers.
So, deal breakers are those things that you feel are non-negotiable, right? Where at the beginning of a relationship...
Can't be a smoker.
Right.
Can't have kids.
Doesn't want kids.
Doesn't want kids.
Religion,
politics,
right.
Money, debts.
See, but here's the thing with deal breakers, and we'll get to red flags in a second, right? But the thing with deal breakers is that I don't really feel that there's any real thing as a deal breaker, right?
No, you can love a man in prison. I mean, it looks like it would be a deal breaker, but men in prison get love, and not just from each other. It's just gonna be like, oh lordy!
This is the second week in a row she's gotten me with that nonsense. There's always something.
All right, seriously. Oh no.
Okay, we gotta rope it back in. Really, Lisa?
Really, Charles? Okay, so deal breakers are the things you think you would never settle for.
Right.
Or
you'll never deal with, right,
or
at all.
accept in a relationship. And then you happen to meet somebody who's great,
But they're a Republican. Or They don't want kids.
Or they've got them out in a student loan debt, and you're like, no, I need someone without, who's really good with money.
You have financial issues.
It's a big deal in relationships. I talk to women every day about this.
Yes, it is. No doubt.
Massive issue.
I have plenty of my own financial issues. So,
True.
Yeah, totally. But
me too.
But all those things are negotiable, right? Because
they really are.
You can sound cheeky or you can sound, really stupid and cliche, but love does conquer all. I mean, you want to be with someone, and then you have to start making some compromises. But here's the trick, right? Compromise is not the same as sacrifice when it comes to deal breakers.
Right. So how do you know the difference? If you say, let's say, for example, I can never date a smoker, and then you fall in love with a great person who's a smoker, and you accept them, that you're not going to change them. So which is that? Compromise or sacrifice?
If you're able to deal with the smoking, you just are never going to smoke, and there's some kind of like brush your teeth before I kiss you because that's nasty.
Don't smoke in the car.
Don't
or
smoke
my
in the car
anyway.
or in the house or whatever. That's the compromise,
okay.
right? In the case of sacrifice, like let's take religion, okay? So
Woo!
someone's just as an example, could be any religion, right? Someone's Catholic, someone's Jewish.
Mm-hmm.
So the compromise is you end up with two ministers on the altar.
Mm-hmm.
The sacrifice is when someone demands that you convert. So
great distinction.
Yeah, so that's really where it's at, and there are compromises. You can live that way.
Yeah.
I have good friends. One's a Democrat and one's a Republican.
I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works either. That's core value shit, right?
But that might be some hot sex after good debate. Maybe that's how it works.
I hope that works for them. Good for you.
Donkey elephant? That's a visual.
Ew. Ew.
Okay, so those are deal breakers. Those are examples of deal breakers.
So talk to us about red flags. And there's different ones, right? Like dating and established relationship.
Well, let's talk about the dating red flags. I'll take that and then I will pass the baton. So, dating red flags. You're dating somebody, everything's going really well, smooth sailing.
And then
you start noticing things. And because things have been smooth sailing, or they're a good kisser, or they're good in bed if you've already escalated to the bedroom, you can make a lot of excuses for things. Like, oh, he was kind of rude to that waiter, but it's okay. Or, man, he talks a lot of shit about all of his ex-girlfriends, but that's okay. Or, she said she was going to do something, and then she did something else, and was that a lie? Well, that's okay. She's really hot, or she's really cute, or I really like her. We cannot ignore those red flags. Those are people reveal themselves slowly over time, everybody. It's drinking time. And because they reveal themselves slowly over time, it's up to us to pay attention. And when we don't, those are the red flags we miss, and we often jump into a relationship with someone who is not right for us, or that we're not compatible with, or who has really questionable behavior that we have overlooked or accepted or settled for.
No doubt. And those red flags show themselves almost instantly when a relationship, even before the relationship has really been forged, it happens right away when you meet them for coffee for the first time, or the first real in-person interaction. This is why online dating doesn't give you a sense of those red flags when you start a relationship over chat or you take things to the phone. Everybody's on their best behavior.
Right.
It has to get to a physical / in-person place for you to see that type of behavior. So, yeah, I mean, one of the things that happens when you're not even around is sometimes a relationship can be best defined as what they say about you when you're not around.
How did you know that?
Your friends. People end up revealing things to you and telling you what they said.
You know what's a big red flag is when someone says they're going to do one thing and they don't. And I've been talking to a couple women lately who have dated guys who they mean well. And I think the guys genuinely do mean well, but they just can't get their act together. And so I'm going to call you, they don't call. I can never commit to anything because my job or this or that. And when you know that behavior in the past in a relationship hasn't worked for you, you need to look at that's a red flag for you, and it's not going to be any different this time.
Sure, and you're bringing up something that's really important, and I get that from a lot of women too. He's busy, he doesn't have time. Tell you what, here's the deal. I have a busy schedule. Plenty of men have busy schedules. If he really is into you, he will find time, because he will, right? He just will. He has no choice but to find time. Now, there are extenuating circumstances.
Sure.
There's work, there's travel, there's kids, there's, single parenthood, there's all kinds of stuff that happens, right? There's prison. But there's, if he really wants to make time for you, you can definitely visit him on Saturdays between 2 and 4.
You got to get there really early. Did you know that?
I know, but I'm sure you're going to tell us more.
Why Lordy, you got to get to prison really early for visiting day. I got to say, it's a real hassle. So good luck to you, those of you who are in love with inmates.
So what's the key with identifying these red flags and not having them screw up your relationship?
Well, you got to keep eyes wide open. No rose-colored glasses. No, oh, they're a good kisser, so I'll overlook this. Or, I really want a relationship, so I'm going to make it work. You deserve a good relationship. Mm-hmm. And if you want a different result than what you've always gotten, you got to do something different. So this is really all about paying attention. Actions speak louder than words. So really paying attention to someone's behavior as they reveal themselves slowly over time. We are going to be drunk today.
See, but that's a really interesting point. So we talked about dating and established relationships. Red flags sometimes show themselves later in the relationship, or they spring up out of nowhere.
So let's talk about that.
Well, the reason is because, who they are.
What's an example of one?
Well, let's get to that. I mean, let's set the stage a little bit. The reason that these red flags show up in established relationships sometimes later is that when two people meet, who they are on date number 1 isn't who they're going to be on month 5, year 5, year 10. It's not the same person.
Yeah.
So sometimes their behavior will shift. Well, everybody's behavior will shift. We can talk about how people never change, but they absolutely do.
Yeah.
So some of those red flags occur when things fundamentally change in the house. Someone gets a new job that's more demanding. Someone starts a new class. Kids are born. All these things create situation that aren't familiar to the household.
Job loss.
Sure. Economic problems.
Death of like a family member or friend.
Or a friend. Sure. Death of a pet. It can be a variety of things.
Yeah.
Moving, planning a wedding.
Ooh.
Like all these things are huge changes to the existing dynamics of a relationship. And as a result, things that you didn't think were a red flag or a deal breaker earlier rear their head. Like, you don't talk about child rearing when you first start dating, but then somebody ends up pregnant, and all of a sudden you discover we are not even on the same page when it comes
about
to how
parenting.
our kids are going to be raised.
Yeah.
Right? Or what religion they're going to be, or whatever. So.
And you can think you know your parenting style, but until you have kids, you have no idea.
Right. Well, I've said that a lot. Like, there's no such thing as a married couple without kids. You're just really dating with a really heavy commitment, right?
I would agree.
You get right. You had a child thrust into your life.
Changes everything.
It messes with the dynamics because there's not. I'll be home late. Oh, all right, have fun. I'm going to do something anyway. Like later, now it's like I'm going to be home late. No. I have stuff going on tonight.
Time.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
And then who's more important? And it's all this underlying stuff that isn't even said. So those red flags can show themselves later.
Yeah.
So the key, to solve those issues, establish relationship, you got to listen more than you speak.
Ooh,
you have to listen. And because it's really easy to advocate your own view, and this is what I need. Well, you already know what you need. What you don't know is what they need. So you want to get rid of some of those dynamics as they spring up.
Excellent advice.
Just listen. Just listen.
That.
So that's the established side.
Wow. I feel smarter and like I'm going to have a better relationship now.
So do I. These two people really know what they're talking about.
Game Over rocks!
Right?
If you'd like to know more, find us on our fan page.
And where is that?
Facebook.com/The Game Over Show.
Definitely. And we will be there. Mm-hmm. And if you have a situation about a red flag that you want to talk about, write into us and we'll either answer you directly or we'll bring it on the show. Absolutely. And we always keep you anonymous, so don't worry. Not always. Sometimes you have to send us a check. Whatever. Until next week, this has been the Game Over Show. I'm Charles Gerlando. I think that makes me Lisa Stedman, who's way too happy about Kim Kardashian being fat. I'm back there. Full circle. Full circle, people. See you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, not tomorrow. Next week.